Hi everyone, my name is Emily and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I will be setting up my December 2020 bullet journal spread. I cannot believe 2020 is almost over. What is time? I feel like 2020 has been both never ending and flying by, if that makes any sense at all to anybody. But I'm excited to close out this year on a positive note, and I'm very much looking forward to 2021 and all that has to bring. For this month's theme, I decided to go with a Christmas lights design. I actually sketched out this design in Procreate before using it in my bullet journal. So I actually printed it out and then used it as a guide when sketching out this setup. So for this month's cover page, I have a quote page on the left and then the December title page on the right. I'm just using my Micron fine liner in 0.01 size to sketch out the wiring on the Christmas lights, and then you'll see I'll go back in a little bit to do more of the details around the bottom of the lights. So after the lights have all been outlined, I'm taking my Crayola Super Tip in a dark navy blue and writing out the word December, and then I go back over it to kind of give it a bit more of that faux calligraphy look. I liked how this turned out a lot actually. It took me a while to figure out what colors I wanted to use for this theme. I'm still not 100% happy with the color selection, but I do like the dark blue, and I think if my pages were a little bit thicker, it would be fun to kind of paint a dark blue sky behind the lights and then have the bulbs shining into that. But in my current bullet journal, my pages are just too thin. So here you see I'm filling in the different light bulbs with a red, a light green, and then a yellow. And those are just the festive colors that I chose for the lights for this theme. I love how the yellow looks, and I think if I were to do that watercolor route another time in a thicker journal, I would use maybe a gold and make it a little bit more shiny, especially around the bulbs to make it look like it's glowing. So now I'm just going in with a gray mild liner and filling in the bottom of the bulbs and giving that more of a realistic look to it. And now I'm moving on to the quote page. So the quote for this month I decided to use was "'Tis the season to shine," and I feel like that just perfectly encaptures what I want the last month of 2020 to be. It's been a rough year, and I think taking this time in the last month of the year to really reflect and think about what I want 21 to look like, even with COVID happening and everything, what are my intentions? What do I want to make a priority in 2021? So I just thought that was a perfect quote, and it works nicely with my theme as well. So now I'm just going back in with an eraser and erasing any pencil traces before moving on to the next spread. And you will see in a second we get a visitor to come join us and enjoy some fluffy kitty cat content. Okay, so now I'm moving on to the next spread, which is my monthly spread, I guess, or month at a glance. So I'm just clamping my pages down. When it gets to the sort of towards the end of my bullet journal, it's hard to keep the pages completely flat, and I find that clamping it helps when I am drawing on it with a marker, and it helps it just not raise up, and then sometimes I make mistakes. So here I'm just going back in with that dark blue Crayola Super Tip, outlining the boxes for the days of the month. And then I'm just counting to make sure that I have the correct number of boxes in this month. So now I'm going in back with my gray mild liner and just filling in the couple days in December or in January and November that fall before and after the month. Just because sometimes it's nice to see a completed week in that month. So even though it's not technically in the month, I can still write stuff down that I may have going on January 1st or 2nd, and it can still be on my radar. So now I'm just going in and writing the days of the week at the top, and you'll see right before that I outlined 2 boxes on the right, one for goals and one for tasks, and that's just kind of where I keep things that I need to get done this month and things that I want to accomplish this month. So a goal could be reading, a couple books, or working out a certain amount of time, anything that I am interested in completing. And a task is more something that I need to do, like renew my passport or things like that. So this is the part of the spread where I start not liking what's happening. I tried to use those sparkles that I used on the cover page as the background to where I would put the number, the day of the month, basically. So I have the sparkle, and then I go and I write the date. I think that the date and the number gets kind of lost behind the sparkle, so I probably would not do it the same next time around, and I think I would maybe try and use a thinner dark blue for the outline of the days of the month as well. But that's okay, we learn as we go. And now I'm just going back in with my Cone fine liner and completing the doodles of the Christmas lights. And now moving on to the next spread, which is my holiday gift tracker. So I'm going to be buying a few presents this year, and this will help me keep track of ones that I've already purchased and ones I've wrapped and who they're for. So I am just writing, filling out a chart basically. So it starts with the name, gift, and then B for bought and W for wrapped. And that just helps me stay on track with what I have for everybody. In my family, we do like Secret Santa for stockings. So I need to buy a few little gifts for my dad this year. And so this way it will just help me keep track on what I've already purchased and if I wrap them and how many more I may need. As long as with any other gifts I need to get, like for my husband or my kitty cat. No, I won't put those on here, but you get the idea. And now I'm just going in with my fine liner again and just filling in the Christmas light doodles at the bottom of the page. And then I'm just finishing the spread up with the heading in that dark blue and light blue Crayola Super Tip, and then I used my gray mild liner and put it just as an accent on the top of the chart, just to give it a little bit more dimension. And now I'm just going back in and quickly erasing any stray pencil marks that are still on the page. Now I'm just continuing that Christmas light doodle onto the next page, which is my holiday playlist. I don't normally include a playlist spread in my monthly setup, but I figured for this year, for December, it would be a cute thing to include. I don't know about anyone else, but this year I am embracing Christmas season in full force in November. So I am here for the holiday music, and if you have any suggestions, please let me know. You'll see some of my top favorites currently in a second when I start filling this out. But I love holiday music. I love the old school Christmas stuff, and I also really like the new kind of modern ones if they're done well. So for this spread, I just looked up a couple of my favorite albums and printed them out in a size that was 1 inch by 1 inch, and then cut them out and then just randomly placed them. So I have 6 songs here that I am currently loving. This first one, Looks Like a Cold, Cold Winter by Ingrid Michaelson from her Songs of the Season album, is just my favorite holiday song in the entire world. Definitely go listen to it. And then I also included Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas by Michael Bublé, Winter Song by Leslie Odom Jr., he just released his album, I believe, a month ago, and it is amazing. If you don't know who he is, he was on the original cast of Hamilton, and his Christmas album is everything that you would hope for. I also have Last Christmas from Emilia Clarke from the movie that came out last year. It was so sweet. And This Christmas by John Legend, because John Legend's voice was just made for Christmas music. And then Christmas in New York by Lee Michelle, which is also just a great one to get you into the spirit. Okay, enough about Christmas music. Moving on to the next spread, I set up a holiday recipe spread. This is because I enjoy cooking, and I've actually been spending a lot more time with my mom in the kitchen. She has been teaching me her ways, and I just like kind of documenting it in my bullet journal every time we learn something together. So I just set up the spread in anticipation of that. So we'll see what we end up cooking this month. And now I'm just going in and completing the Christmas lights doodle all around the page. I actually really like how the Christmas lights become sort of a frame for the page. I think it gives it sort of a warm, cozy feeling, and I just like it. So moving on to my first weekly spread of December. So you'll see that I didn't put any habit trackers in the first couple pages of the month, and that is because I tend to not look at my habit trackers when they are in my monthly pages, and I find that if I have them in my weeklies, that I see them a lot more, and I tend to record them, and I'm just reminded of the habits that I'm trying to track this month. So it also allows me to change my habits on a weekly basis if I find that I'm looking to focus on something else, or if I want to add something. It's really easy to do that. So on the left-hand page there, you'll see that I'm setting up my the first week of the month. So I just have week 1 with the days of the week going down the side. If you know Plant-Based Bride on YouTube, you know that she really enjoyed doing this setup. And I took this setup from her. So I just have the days of the week on the left, and then I have my task list on the right. And I just made a small one because I use a different journal for my work. So this is mainly just personal tasks that I need to accomplish, and usually there's only a handful, so I didn't need a full page. And then you'll see on the bottom of that is where I have my habits. So this month, for my habits, I'm tracking vitamins, movement, just of any kind, whether it's a walk, a bike ride, or yoga. And then underneath that, I have restore. My husband and I like to do restorative yoga before we go to sleep at night. It just helps us relax, kind of unwind from the day, and get into a nice state of mind for sleeping. So I put that in there because it's something that we enjoy doing and want to do more. And then I also put no drinking, just because the holiday season, a lot of times there's a lot of events and festive things, and you can easily just end up drinking more than you would like. So I just want to be mindful of that. So I included that there as well. And then my last habit I wanted to track is Mandarin. So my husband is Taiwanese, and I've been trying to make an effort to learn Mandarin, just so I can know. And his parents both speak Mandarin, and I think it would just be a nice skill to have. Those are my habits that I want to track this week, and now I'm just erasing the extra stuff, and I completed the Christmas light doodle. And I really like how it's kind of going behind those boxes, and it's also sort of like a frame. I think it looks really nice and festive. And that is the final spread of my December 2020 bullet journal spread. I will do a quick flip through right now, but let me know in the comments if you like this setup and what your favorite Christmas song is. Was it one that I had on my list, or is it a new one? I want all the recommendations, so please share. This is my first bullet journal video, so if you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. My channel is still very new, and I'm looking forward to making a bunch more videos. If you'd like to see more from me in the future, please consider subscribing. And with that, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye, everyone.